There we go. And choice 3 is not an equation. No equal sign. Okay, now, once we have equations can be true, false, or depending on what value we give it to, it can be true or false. It doesn't have to be true. So this is kind of the problem right here. Question number 2 says, consider the equation 2x minus 8 equals 10 minus x. Why can't you determine whether this is true or false? It is an equation, but why don't I know if that's true or false? We do not know what x is. We don't know what x is. So now what does that mean to us? Right? What does it mean to this, or what does that actually mean? So letter B says, if x equals 5, will the equation be true? So now what they're doing is they're getting into what we've kind of done before, is saying test things to be true, right? A dream. Last unit, our big word was equivalent, right? We wanted to test if things were equivalent, and I'd say store a number like 7 or 5, but not 0, 1, 2, or 3, right? We tested if things are equivalent. I can have things that are not equivalent be equal every once in a while, depending on what x is. And remember I said sometimes you got to be careful, like what happens if x is 2? You can get some false positives. So now what they're saying is all right, let's say x equals 5. Is the equation true? And what they're asking us to do really is this. All right, so if you write the equation out, 2x minus 8 equals 10 minus x. And they're saying, all right, well, what happens if x is 5? They're just throwing out there, hey, I think x is 5. I don't know. Might work, might not work. I have no idea. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus, I'll still have 10 minus 8. And over here I have 10 minus 5. 10 minus 8 is 10 minus 5 is 5. Is 2 equal to 5? Those are not equal. This is false. So here's what I do know. So let me just ask, so how do I know? Well, here's what I know. It's not 5. So I say 7, but here's what we're saying. I'm saying that sometimes those definitely don't look the same. Right? 2x minus 8 and 10 minus x don't look the same. Maybe they're equivalent, but it might depend on what number it is. So I say, hey, let's draw out 7. If we're testing for equivalence, 7 is a good number to test. Didn't work. The paper here said throw out 5. Doesn't work. What's the answer? Cross it out, skip it to the next one. Wrong answer. So what's the answer? How do I know what x is? So now here's what we've got, okay? We've got one option. There are 4 ways to find out the right answer for an equation. To solve an equation for an unknown value. One answer, guess. This happens to be the preferred method of kids who don't know what they're doing. Okay? If you don't know what you're doing, you play the guessing game. Let's see. Oh, I think it's 5. Nope. 7. Nope. 12. Nope. And if you're a good guesser, maybe you stumble upon it. One way to do it. Hey, they said check 5. Lousy paper didn't know what it was talking about. Not 5. But we always know the worksheets know what they're doing, don't we? So a wise man said, what if it happens if it's 6? How'd you fix 6? You're just super smart. There we go. So super smart Salim said, let's try 6. He might have had some help, but I don't know. He said he's super smart. Salim, you didn't get that off the paper, did you? Good idea. So Salim said, let's see what happens if it's 6. So I'm going to take my equation, 2x minus 8 equals 10 minus x. Super smart Salim said 6. So we end up with 12 minus 8 equals 10 minus 6. Twelve minus 8 is 4. 10 minus 6 is 2. True. X equals 6. Do you know what this means? The answer is 6. What else does it mean? It's true. What else does it mean? X equals 6. It also means that Salim now knows how to do all these. So good news, we don't have to do them. Option 1, guess. Option 2, have Salim do it. Option 3, I'm good on option 2. Have Salim do it. All right, so let's not, I think that'd be crazy. Anybody else think that's a bad idea to have Salim do all these? Terrible idea. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to option 1. Guess. Guess. Hey, look, we're going to guess. It says determine whether each of the following values for a given variable is a solution. Is it the solution? Show the calculations to lead you to this. So they're saying, all right, here you go, smarty pants. Oh, man, this is going to be good. They're saying 2x plus 3 equals 17. No problem. So that means 2 times, what did they say, 7? Plus 3 equals 17. 2 plus 7 is 14. Plus 3. Happy days. Letter B's got a fraction in it. So what if we did this? Because fractions are a pain in the butt. Could I do this? 10 store x. Didn't they say test it for x equals 10? And now do x minus 20 divided by 5 equals negative 4. False. See, I could do it by hand. But if we've got a calculator available to us, why wouldn't I use a calculator? Well, if you wanted to test a different number, you could do that. Like right now, we know, I don't know what the answer is. I know it's not 10. I don't know what the answer is. Yeah, because that's what it's like. This is what it means. 10. This is what this means is 10 is not the answer. That's what this means. So far right now, our two options are this. Guess or have Salim do it.
Yes.
They said guess 10, it said false. So we're either stuck with guessing another number or having Salim do it until we can come up with a better way. Which I don't know if we're going to find a better way. Is 4 the answer to letter C? They said no. Letter C. I'm going to see. Saad said no, but she got question number 6 wrong on the test, so I'm going to check it. She got questions 1 through 5 and number 7 and 8 right, but question 6 she got wrong. So, equals 6 parentheses x minus 1.
True. All right.
True. You know what that means?
Yes. Yes.
4 is a solution. It's a solution. And we always put exclamation points because that's fun. I like this way better than having Salim guess.
Yeah.
Now it's saying -1. All right. -1. Make sure you understand that this number under the 3 is the negative. Whoops. -1. Store x. X squared minus 1 equals 2x plus 2. Hey, if you're getting false, you got to figure out why. Make sure you're doing -1, not -1. And this has got to be a -1 here, not -1. X squared minus 1, not x squared -1. True. What does this mean? True. -1 is a solution. So now it says, well, x equals 2. So far, our guessers are 0 for 3. Oh, no. This means Muhammad and Shad both say it's false. I don't know. I think I have got confidence in Saad. Can't miss 2 in a row. Maybe she can. Lucky guess. So Shad said Shad, right? She said false.
I said false too.
Muhammad said false.
I said false.
Jensei thinks he can do the last one. I don't know if we should trust him.
Yes.
Jensei, what'd you get? All right. I was getting lazy because I didn't want to do it. So now we got 1 false, 1 true. 3/4. 3/4 x minus 1 equals. Jensei, make sure you put -1, not -1. That'll goof you up. 1/2 x plus 9. True. So this seems to be working. Like, this is pretty good. Like, they can just tell us, is this the answer? We find out whether it's the answer or not. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. What if they say, all right, what is the answer? Like if they're for letter E. Letter E said false, right? What if they, because you know teachers are going to do this, especially math teachers. Oh, it's false? Okay, so then what is the right answer? So now we're stuck on guessing or Salim, which is neither one's a great option, although Salim might have a better chance than guessing. All right. So we're doomed. Now what? All right, so let me tell you number 3. Option number 3, end solve. If you have an equation, end solve will tell you the answer. This might even be better than the Salim method, depending on how good Salim gets at his method. But I don't know what letter E is, right? Is that false? We don't know what it is. So let's use the good old-fashioned end solve method. You can do it by typing in end solve in parentheses. You've got to type this in just like you see it. 3 parentheses x plus 2 divided by 4. Minus 1, not negative 1, minus 1 equals 5. Comma x. X equals 6. Now, Akram, did you get a different number? Did you get 6? The comma, I have to put in to use end solve. I got to type in the equation. Then I have to tell the calculator this is the end of my equation. Comma. X, which is the letter I want it to solve for. Okay? Have to do it that way. That's the way end solve works. So it tells me x is 6. Now in middle school, did their math teachers have you do solve and check? In middle school, you had to do solve and check, right? So what do you think the answer is? 6. What if I want to do 6 store x? And I do 3 parentheses x plus 2 divided by 4 minus 1 equals 5. I didn't say some number. I said 6. Why did I choose 6?
Because we have the x through alpha.
Why did I choose 6?
Because of the x's.
Because that's what end solve told me. Salim didn't tell me that. Guessing didn't tell me that. Who told me that? End solve. So now here's the deal. How many people in middle school could solve all the algebraic equations? Nobody. Right? Except for Salim. Now, how many should be able to get the answer for any equation? Not just Salim, everybody. End solve is now the third way to get an answer. Okay? End solve is now the third way. It's probably the best way that we have. Now we're going to look at another way in the future, but for right now, option number 1, end solve. Option number Salim is probably the second best. Option 3, which is guessing, is probably third best. So Salim, you're not in last place. That's good. Yeah. So now, what do we got to do? We need to, right now,